Well, knowing the basics of car repair is a must, especially during this time of year when it seems that our vehicles naturally have more problems.
You can just ask the producer of our 6 and 11 p.m. newscast who got a flat tire while driving into work yesterday.
Toby.
Mr. Gibbs, yes, lucky for him, he knew how to replace it, so he was still able to make it into the studio.
How dare you miss work?
Knock out those newscasts.
Well, now it is Michael's turn to learn. And Michael, we know your car's got a lot of years behind it, but today you're at the perfect location to find out just how to take care of anything that might happen to your dear Pearl Mabel Estime.
Yeah, you know what, Lauren, let me say this. As you very well know, my vehicle, her name is Pearl Mabel Estime. I hold her very close to my heart. She just cracked the 200,000 mile mark, and it's so important that you keep track of your vehicle's performance. As you very well know, there's actually over 254 million vehicles registered in the United States. So to get the ins and outs on how to maintain your vehicle, we're actually live for you this morning at Tire Discounters. This is the one in Hamburg, although you're very well familiar with the fact that they literally have 11 different locations here in Lexington, with one more on the way here very shortly. So, of course, the man with the plan that knows all the answers on how to get things done with your vehicle. We're joined by the regional manager of Tire Discounters, Mr. Ben Sweger. And Ben, thank you so much for inviting us in this morning.
Thanks for having me.
You know what, and of course, car maintenance is so important. I was sharing with you before that I have a Saturn, and it has cracked 200,000 miles, and so it's really important that you pay attention on the basic maintenance for a vehicle. So what we wanted to do and start you off with this morning was to talk about how you check your oil and how to do that appropriately and properly. So give us the tips here.
Sure. The basic thing you want to do is what you want to start with is you want to let your engine cool down. You want to let the oil settle back down into the bottom of the pan, leave it off for about 10 minutes and let everything go to the bottom. We've already done that here. Then you want to pop the hood. Obviously, we've done that. And once you get the hood popped, you want to locate the knob here.
And it's really important that you indicate it because it's always the yellow.
It's yellow. Sometimes it's black, and it'll have engine oil wrote on it, and it'll be pretty easy to determine which one it is. But once you find that, you pull it out, and you want to run your rag or napkin or paper towel or something down it, because what happens is the engine, when it's running, it shoots oil up that tube, so you could actually get engine oil all the way up here. So
wow.
You clear that off, and then once you get it out and you wipe it, you have two different kinds. This one actually is a combination of the both. See the little cross hatches there?
I know.
And then you have the holes that'll determine the level of oil you have. So once you pull it out, wipe it off, you find the dipstick hole, put it back down in there. Make sure you get it all the way in, push it to the bottom, pull it back out, and then
let it sit for a second.
And then before you do anything else, you just want to hold it flat. You don't want to tilt it up, you don't want to tilt it down, and that way you'll see exactly where the level is.
And where should that level be?
As long, for example, on this dipstick, you have the cross hatches and the dots, and if you see that they end there and begin there, anywhere in this range is safe. I always like to leave mine towards the upper part of it. That way, if you ever develop a leak, you got some time.
Right. Very good call. I like that. And how often would you suggest that you change your oil?
It's different for every vehicle, and it's also different based on what kind of oil you use. So I would refer to your owner's manual because, like I said, every vehicle is different.
Right.
But rule of thumb is usually about 3,000 miles on a conventional oil change.
Awesome. You know what? Sounds great. And not only are we talking, of course, about how to check your oil, in this program we'll also talk to you about how to jumpstart a car, especially this time of the year. That's so very important. And then, of course, how to change that flat tire. And boy, oh boy, our evening producer could certainly take a couple of notes on this after his incident yesterday. Let me show you what things look like right now with a live look at Viper HD radar. Good morning. So good to see you with us right here on a Wednesday. I'm Michael Estime. We are live for you at Tire Discounters here in Hamburg. And let me just say this. It seems like when you're heading home for the holidays, or perhaps you're running late for work, all of a sudden when you're driving, you can feel it. your car tire starts to deflate, and then all of a sudden you are running on your rims, and you're like, I've got to do something, and I've got to change that tire. And a lot of us, of course, have that spare tire in the back. So to talk to us about how we're appropriately supposed to address a flat tire, we have the expert himself, Mr. Ben. And Ben, describe to me what the process is that someone has to take if they encounter, that problem. I'm sure that you've had it too, where, you're cruising and all of a sudden, flat tire.
It's unfortunate, but it does happen. A lot of stuff and debris on the road.
Oh, yeah.
First thing you want to do is you want to make sure you got safety at hand. That happens. Usually you're driving down the road. There's traffic going by you, and you're stuck with this. So you want to pull over to the side of the road as far as you can to safely get access to your tire. And then you also want to put any road cones, any flares you have, just to let people know that you're on the side of the road. Because a lot of accidents are caused by people working on the side of the road. And just give yourself that extra safety.
Absolutely. And then you got to jump right on into it.
Absolutely. Once you get it pulled over, get everything set up. You want to get all your spare tools. You have your to lower your spare down. There's different tools that are on every vehicle. Refer to your owner's manual to see what you have. And then you want to take your jack iron, lug nut iron. You want to loosen all your lug nuts. Just loosen them, lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. Get them all off. Inspect them. Make sure there's nothing wrong with them, because you're going to need those later to put them back on.
And then you yank the tire off, and then you're just about ready to put the other tire on.
That's right.
And for time purposes, we've yanked that tire off right here, as you can see. What's the next step?
Next step, you want to loosen the lug nuts when the car's on the ground with the flat tire. A lot of guys will raise it up, or a lot of girls will raise it up and then loosen the lug nuts. That'll just spin your tire because it's off the ground. Use the weight of the vehicle to your advantage. So once you get it loose, all your lug nuts are loose, not all the way off. You want to raise your jack. Put it under the lift point. It's different on every vehicle. Again, refer to your owner's manual. But it's either going to go to the frame or the pinch weld under here.
Right.
So either way, you want to put it in a secure spot. With the lug nuts loose, then you'll raise it up. You'll already have your spare out and ready to go, just like we do here. And then we'll take this bad boy and just simply put it right on the lug nuts.
Yep, there it is. That was perfect. First time's a charm. There it is.
And then tighten it down.
Yep, and you take those little lug nuts and you screw them on in. And then there you go.
That's it.
You know what? Easy enough. And then I'd be curious what other suggestions you have for people like myself who have done this before. Usually I'll do it as a temporary sort of deal. Because I have like a smaller tire in my car, so it's not necessarily a spare.
Yes, some vehicles have a full-size spare like this one, where it's exactly the same size as your regular tire. Some are a space saver, or referred to as a donut spare, which is a smaller tire. They're only usually good for about 50 miles, just long enough to get you to Tire Discounters.
Exactly. And then what's a good way to contact you guys? Because I just feel like it's one of those things. It happened to our producer yesterday with a flat tire. What's a good way to contact you?
Absolutely. You can get on our website. It has a location finder on there, www.tirediscounters.com, or just look us up in any of the yellow pages, anything like that. There's, like you said, 11 locations, soon to be 12, and we could be glad to take care of you any time of need.
Hey, looking forward to it. And, of course, one problem that I've actually had this year as well, and I think that Lauren may have had an issue with this too, is getting your engine to start on those really cold mornings. I know that I've had some issues with that, and sometimes what you need to do is to jump start your vehicle. So in our next segment, we'll actually talk about how to jump start your vehicle appropriately and safely. Doug and Lauren, backing over to you.
This is good, Michael.
Unfortunately,
Good stuff.
jump starting something I'm very familiar with. Just based on multiple different cars that I've encountered, somebody's car is always stopping because of the cold weather, or won't start, I should say. So this is good intel. We're going to get that from Michael coming up in a bit. But first, we have your GDK Talkers on the way.
Good morning and welcome back to your Wednesday. I'm Michael Estime, live for you right here in Hamburg at Tire Discounters, where I feel like all of us have run into this problem, especially this winter, and more so last winter with that polar vortex. You get to your vehicle, you turn the ignition, and the car doesn't start. Perhaps the battery died. Well, the guy to talk to, the man with the plan, is Mr. Ben Sweger. And Ben, thank you so much for joining us again this morning.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So show me what exactly we're supposed to do if, the car battery dies. we need to jumpstart things. What's the first step?
Well, we've all been there. You go to start it out of the grocery store and it won't start.
Yeah.
You first want to put it in park. You want to make sure you're in a safe spot if you're not in the parking lot. And then you want to pop the hood, walk around to the front, and then you want to find your battery terminals. Now, like I said, throughout this whole segment, every vehicle is different. So you do want to refer to your owner's manual. Sometimes the battery's not located under the hood compartment. Sometimes it's in the trunk and you have posts up here. But just refer to your owner's manual, find out where that stuff is, and get a head start on that so you know where it is when you need it. Also carry your jumper cables, so you'll get your jumper cables out of the back of your car, wherever you keep it.
These are your jumper cables.
These are those there.
Yep.
They're color-coded, red or black. Red being the positive end of the terminals, negative being the black, and usually there's a plus and a minus there as well to make it so you're definitely sure you're hooking up the right one.
Right.
First, you'll want to find the negative spot, and they recommend to use a spot on the engine as opposed to the terminal itself. So you want to find a non-painted piece of bolt or frame sticking out. So like if we look down in there, you just clip it on there, and you're good.
And we're clipping it to a metal area that's connected to the engine?
Yeah, that's a bolt that's coming out. It's not painted, and it's your ground. And what happens is the ground it's grounded to the frame of the vehicle, so you're safe that way if anything were to spark. You always want to make sure these are separate too. You don't ever want them to touch each other or touch the opposite side, meaning put the positive on the negative.
And now where does the positive end go here? Do we just kind of keep that one negative end?
At first, yes. This is considered the dead vehicle we'll do for today's exercise. And you want to keep your positive away. You want to keep it away from anything else touching that. So like right here on the dash should be fine. Okay. And then you got your negative wire already grounded to the motor. So then you'd move over to your powered vehicle, and for safety or for time's sake, we've already connected this one.
Right.
So you want to make sure you got your negative hooked up first. So now the negative and the negative are connected together. You have both black.
You can see actually the negative sign here, and this one, the black end being the negative end, so negative to negative. And then it looks like the red, which is positive, we're connecting it to the positive side of the vehicle there.
Absolutely. So that way you've actually completed the circuit. Now once you go back to your dead vehicle and connect the red back to the positive on it. So we'll go back and do that. This is connected. So you're good to go on this end, and then you want to just connect to the dead battery.
Awesome. All right, and again, this one is our makeshift dead vehicle for today. So, all right, we have it grounded now that the battery is connected.
And this was in a safe spot, so it wasn't sparking or doing anything else. Then all you do is connect to your positive terminal. And right here is a little different than some. You're not connecting directly to the top of the battery. You're connecting to a little metal bracket that's attached to it. So if you can see that there, that completes the circuit, and you actually have current going from that vehicle to this one.
And then which one do you like start up first then?
Well,
so obviously you start this one up, and then how long do you wait for it to like charge?
You want to wait about 3 to 4 minutes. Let the running vehicle charge the battery for the dead vehicle. Give it a little extra boost, and then try to start it.
Awesome. Sounds good. You know what? I really appreciate it. Again, you guys have 11 different locations here throughout Lexington with a 12th one on the way. Where's that 12th one going to be at?
12th one's going to be at Beaumont Circle, and we look forward to having that here shortly. And we do have surrounding areas like Richmond, Paris, Georgetown, and Frankfurt as well.
Awesome. Yeah, you have us well covered then is what it sounds like.
Yes, sir. We're there for you need it.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. And thanks again, Ben. I certainly appreciate it. And the thing is, whether I got the flat tire, need to get the oil checked, or dead battery, I'm coming to you because you're the man with the plan.
Just give us a call. We'll keep you moving.
You know what? I like that. I like that a lot. And again, your last name is, of course, Sweger, but I'm calling you the man that has some swagger over
That's
here.
right. That's right.
Keeps your car going.
That's
so
right.
We appreciate it again very much there, Ben.
Thanks a lot, Mike.
Let me show you what things look like outside as we speak. Again, temperature.